to be in the playoffs first to make that happen. And a game like this, when they're both tied at 3 wins and 3 losses, just is so damn important.
Yeah, both of these teams have been very vocal about their expectations coming into this split, really trying to push for a successful record and make a strong showing getting into playoffs. Well, first, they have to make it, and these two teams going head-to-head will be a good indicator of what to expect as the split goes on. But as you can see, picks and bans being entered. Cassiopeia and Jarvan banned away from Keen and Ray.
Yeah, well, they were watching the games against Cloud9 last week, where they tried to play Cassiopeia and Jarvan 2 games in a row. Worked one game, didn't work the other. But it's still a unique look that Apex can give, and with those bans, Team Liquid is trying to normalize Apex a little bit.
Yeah, we have seen Apex sort of struggle when they don't have that hyper late game composition. So we'll see if they have something else planned. They are comfortable playing around Ray, so with red side, they could look to save that counter pick. But double mid laner ban for Phoenix and Vladimir taken away from Team Liquid. That leaves them up with first pick.
Yeah, one could argue that's even a triple mid laner ban because Ryze often gets played in the mid lane. That does leave Karma, though, which could be a mid lane pick, most likely a support pick, and all the more common as a first pick in the North American LCS as teams continue to prioritize the utility from Karma.
Yeah, very strong at enabling teams. As now Apex, we'll have to see if they've got something new to show us after the first 3 weeks. Maybe they could just go back towards that Fizz. Then again, it is 6-12, so not quite as strong.
Fizz had some slight nerfs. All the big top laners that had kind of been in the game are getting taken down a little bit, except for Aurelia, who we're expecting to see a lot of picks, and it's a champion who actually made it through the ban phase here since the Jarvan has been banned instead. Fiora could also be a choice. Swain could also be a choice in the top lane. If they do Swain, it can also be a flex pick because that's something Keen had a lot of success on already in this split. So the Rek'Sai would be the only thing that is showing a bit of a high priority as well with Nidalee and Kindred still on the board, but I think the Swain is a little bit more solid.
And this sort of plays into the whole idea that Shrimp is no longer going for the super aggro plays, and he's really starting to try to play more for the team. Yeah. So we'll see if this works out.
And with that being said, Rek'Sai was far and away his best champion in Challenger.
Exactly.
So I don't expect the plus 100 CS Shrimp we got to see in Challenger Series. Dardoch is a little better than the junglers he was playing back in the day. And at the same time, it's just the pro game is a little bit different, that that's not as possible.
Yeah.
I do like the pick for Shrimp because it's his best champion. It's one of Dardoch's best champions, too. So there's a bit of denial going on there.
Yeah, we'll see what they decide to pick up now as Olaf locked in the Olaf Karma combo.
That is actually not much of a surprise, and I wasn't even thinking about it. That is actually incredibly strong. This is the combo that Team Liquid ran in their second game against Energy. It was a Karma support, a Shen top, an Olaf jungle, and they actually put the Sivir on top of it as well, which they're not going to be able to do this game. But Olaf will still be really fast and really dangerous because he will be sped up and he'll have a friend when he comes in there with Shen. And that means Apex has to be incredibly careful with their AD carry choice because if they pick something immobile like a Jhin or an Ashe, they are just dead from the start.
Yeah, and Apollo has been awfully fond of Caitlyn. Relatively immobile. 90 caliber net's not going to do much at the Berserker, frothing at the teeth to come lock you down, and hovering the Varus, that is a very confident choice.
Yeah.
I'm going to be surprised if he locks it in.
Yeah, 2 throwback hovers there. Keen always asking to play Urgot.
That's right,
Apollo played a ton of Varus during his first LCS split about 2 years ago. But these are more logical choice. X Special had multiple Player of the Game awards in Week 1 when he played Braum, and Ezreal is just what the doctor ordered against that Shen Olaf.
Yeah, just hopping away. We'll see if Apollo will be able to kite it out. And even when that Ragnarok is on cooldown, we're going to be expecting the blue build for landing additional slow. So Team Liquid now looking at their either mid lane or support and their AD carry. Fabi played a lot of utility champions lately, and that Ashe is still available.
Very true. In his first week in the LCS, he played 5 games, and if you consider Ashe and Sivir utility champs, he played them in 4 out of 5 games. 2 Ashes, both successful games. Help with the initiation. Ashe Karma is a very strong lane. Definitely wouldn't be surprised to see that coming in right now. And then the question would be, what would Phoenix pick in the mid lane? Because he's most likely going up against Swain.
Yeah. Tough choice. Apex do have the convenience of flexing, so they can try to pick around it, but looks like Phoenix is hovering the standard safe Victor.
That makes sense. We just got to see Pobelter absolutely dominate on that champion, and it's nothing new. It's not like he's the one that knows Victor is strong. He's arguably much stronger than he was before the rework. His E can now full clear the wave after a few items instead of just the back wave. It clears the back wave at level 7 instead of level 9. The ultimate does more damage. The laser is faster. He's a little bit less likely to kill you in lane, but pretty much everything else about the champion was slightly buffed.
Very strong pick. Now Keen, a lot of mid laners being hovered. Very adaptable mid laner, and it is Zilean locked in for Keen. All right.
Yeah, this is a combo we've seen a little bit. I remember a TSM game where they showed a lot of effectiveness with it. The Zilean Swain solo lane combos can make Swain an absolute terror in team fights because he's already hard to kill, but when you put a Zilean revive on him and bring him back to 100% health, like it dissuades you from bursting the Swain, who is going to heal up again. So you either need to have very clean team fights where you can put threat on Zilean and avoid the ultimate from going on Swain, or you just need to be way ahead of the opponent team. So I like the scaling options of the Apex team here as well. It has a lot of utility. And I also like Team Liquid's team because they have a lot of initiation options and it allows them to play aggressive. So pretty happy with both these teams' drafts on a quick glance.
Yeah, and once again, that Zilean going to be so good at enabling Ray on that Swain to just run in and lifesteal as much as he possibly can to burn through those targets, whereas Apollo is going to be doing as expected, trying to sit in the back and just whittle people down. So both of these compositions looking fairly strong as we get ready to get into this. I'm excited. This is going to be a fun one.
Exactly, and I'm really curious about what we're going to see in the top lane because we've talked a lot about Lorlo and how good he can be in the top lane on carries. He's on Shen, which isn't necessarily a carry, but he'll be playing an enabler for Dardoch's Olaf this game.
We'll see if that works out. Now, before we get underway, hop onto Twitter and share your thoughts about this match. If you're backing Apex, use hashtag APXWin, and Liquid supporters, go ahead and use hashtag TLWin. The players are ready, and so too should be the fans as we load onto the Rift for game number 1 between Liquid and Apex.
Now, obviously, it was a pretty hype match we just had between CLG and Immortals, with Immortals still only having the one loss and CLG yet to bounce back from their championship or return to their championship form, so to speak, or even their MSI form. Really a crazy storyline going on there, and they've now started the split 2-5, which is the worst 7-game start an LCS champion has ever had. But it also opens the door for the rest of these teams to try and supplant them. You know, Team Liquid and Apex, currently better records in CLG, going to continue to have better records in CLG, and that just brings more intrigue to our second matchup of the night.
Yeah. These teams might not end up being fighting for that 6th spot in playoffs, but instead the 5th.
Yeah,
or possibly
higher,
even contesting with CLG later on in the split. But everyone has taken fairly standard positions on the map. And lots of pings going down as Dardoch is spotted. Not going to get any cheeky early kills with that Olaf. Looks like lane swap as Fabi heads towards the top side with some help from Matt.
Yeah, I'm really curious what would happen if we got to see standard lanes between Lorlo and Ray, because Shen's not exactly your lane bully type, and Ray would be able to get probably a lot of farms, so I think it would actually be in Team Liquid's best interest to lane swap this one early, but that does appear what they're going to be trying to do. Although without deep wards, it's really hard to tell who would be initiating the lane swap. At this point, it's pretty much just guesswork, but Team Liquid will be getting the swap.
Yeah, Lurlo starting on the bottom side with Dardoch. He's actually going to head towards the bottom. Might be hoping for an optimistic bit of minions.
And that's the thing here, right? Like, it's a blind swap, so Lurlo will probably run away as soon as he sees Apollo and X Special. The trick here is getting these first 3 minions, because if Apollo and X Special start a camp, they're going to be a little bit late to lane, which is why he's actually attacking this, because he wants to get the 3 minions before he's in risk of dying. He does that, and he should be safe. He doesn't want to have to burn a flash. He's taking a lot of damage. He should be all right.
Yeah, Apollo just getting some good punishment, down to 170 health. Ray, you can see doing the same thing. Only got 2.
He's behind.
Yeah.
What's he going to do? It should be fine. It's just a matter of if he can recall.
24 gold advantage for Team Liquid.
Yeah, massive. No coming back from that.
Instrumental. And Matt, as you can see, roaming around, he's going to try to hunt down Shrimp, who's already cleared out this entire side of the jungle.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty key, actually. If Shrimp is starting on the red side of the jungle, the same thing happened for Dardoch. He essentially started on the weak side of the lane swap, so he can then now funnel over to a strong side, but that's an early gank.
Keen landing the double bomb stuns Phoenix, and immediately he's forced to burn a very early flash.
Yeah, and that is actually one of Phoenix's Achilles heels right here. Notice how he has his trinket up. It's early in the game. Matt saw the Rek'Sai hit level 3 at the Raptor camp, So as far as where you would want to cheat, normally you do want to cheat to the strong side of your map because you're worried about support roams, but either he needs a ward in there or he needs to be playing a little bit more conservatively. It didn't cost Phoenix a death yet, but it did cost him a flash, which could be a death later.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on Shrimp and see if he decides to revisit that mid lane. He's going to have a pretty big window of opportunity for the next 6 minutes or so. I think it's about down to 5 as these turrets are being taken, and that's going to happen for the next few minutes. Yeah, there's the ward.
Yeah, he placed it after the fact. Obviously, you can see Keen has the ward there as well. That's what saw Dardoch. Shrimp will still have his flash for a return gank, but he obviously has to be very careful. The counter gank potential from a Ghost Olaf is huge. The early game Olaf is just so amazing at doing it.
Very good at taking that. The turrets are taken on both sides of the map. Double swap. And yeah, there's the revisit from Xpecial and Shrimp.
Yeah. So look for Shrimp to try and flash on Burrow onto Phoenix.
Keen flash.
Oh, he missed.
And misses the knockup. Phoenix walks it off with his Ghost.
Yeah, so Phoenix is obviously very fast, and you have to worry about gravity field if you're trying to gank a Victor. But that's just missed execution from Shrimp right there. If they get the Rek'Sai knock up, it immediately chains into a double bomb stun from Keen, which would then immediately chain into a stun from Xpecial because they'd have 3 people hitting on the Braum passive. So that is a gank that should have worked, given better execution, and it should have punished Phoenix for his early burn of Flash, but it didn't. So Team Liquid dodges a bullet, and Apex wastes time with a roam.
Couple that with the extra minion that Lorlo has over Ray, and things are looking awfully fantastic. Dardoch even going to head towards mid to try to break this wave out. Catch just a little bit of experience as well as things settle down a little bit in that mid lane. Shrimp roams now towards the top side, while Dardoch is going to continue clearing out his own side of the jungle. So lane swap continues. Looks like it is going to be standard double turret take.
Yeah, I was a little surprised why Ray was down there when you would be expecting the swap back. I think he was just trying to steal a little bit of farm. But really, if we're thinking about the way these swaps should be going, Ray should already be helping Apex take this top lane turret, much like Lorlo is helping take the turret on the bottom side. One other small tweak in the lane swapping is Apex did decide to give Ray solo turret gold, whereas Team Liquid has split it amongst the 3 of them, which kind of just tells me they're prioritizing Fabi's item breakpoints a little bit more than they are prioritizing Lorlo's breakpoints for Team Liquid.
Interesting adaptation for Team Liquid.
And now Ray doesn't even get any gold because he spent all that time down at the bottom. Apex is just going to share this 3 ways.
Yeah.
So even though he got full turret gold on one side, it's actually going to equalize now a little bit.
Yeah, still very even in terms of overall gold between the teams. 400 in favor of Apex right now, but they're going to be taking this bottom tier 1 turret in just a few moments. Phoenix still flashless, so he's still going to be trying to play defensive in that mid lane, though Keen did already burn his own flash. So we'll keep an eye on those junglers as well to see if they decide to revisit that mid lane.
Yeah, and now they give solo turret gold to Lorlo, so that will actually catch him right up with Ray. Even give him, if you consider the fact that he's going to be able to get that CS, put him slightly ahead, but that's not exactly something Shen will be able to punish.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter. Shen has a few gold ahead. I'm mainly just waiting for the first big break in this game.
He's going to get that Bomby Cinders. He's going to burn you. 10 magic damage.
Never know. I mean, really, one thing to pay attention to is that Dardoch has already gotten his Lucidity boots, which is pretty standard for the Olafs. They like it for more reduced cooldown on Ghost, and also the fact that
Undertow.
Olaf's a stat stick, so when he gets to you, he pretty much always wins, which is why your early item builds are really just predicated around achieving move speed. And cooldown boots plus Ghost cooldown reduction is the best way of him to do so. So I like that item choice early for Olaf, and it'll be interesting to see if he can pull off some ganks.
So far, he's only visited the mid lane and helped out a bit with that swap, but now that he's level 6, might see him run a little bit more boldly into people with that crowd control. Shrimp now going to secure Scuttle as 4 members of Apex are on this side of the map. They're going to spot out Dardoch and get a couple of deep wards. They might be looking for an early Infernal Drake.
Yeah, got him with some Tremor Sense, got a deep ward down. Forcing the Infernal Drake would be rather difficult unless they can get a kill first or be very certain of their vision control, only because both top laners still have teleport, and it's not like Keen has any substantial advantage in lane. So the vision control around that area is nice, but they need to be able to generate some type of pressure first before just starting the Dragon.
Especially now that Fabi's level 6 and can toss an arrow. Dardoch actually on the invade. He's got his smite.
Oh, got it.
Yep. Smite steal.
What a bold invade. That's really interesting pathing there by Dardoch because Apex had just layered the bottom side with wards, so Dardoch makes an educated guess, thinks that there's not going to be much ward coverage up on the top side because really you can only place so many wards on the map, especially this early. And he actually successfully red buff invades a Sightstone Rek'Sai, which is rare. Rek'Sai's hard to counter jungle. Sightstone Rek'Sais are even harder because he has so many ways of seeing you coming. But Dardoch sneaks in and gets it.
Yeah, and this is one of the things we keep hearing about Dardoch, that his jungle pathing and decision-making is just so sharp.
Yeah, game sense is another way of putting it as well. Just like early on, so much of it is just guesswork and tendency figuring out of where the other team is. Obviously, you can make like calculated decisions, but so much of it comes down to instinct when these guys play these games. And Dardoch has really good instincts.
Now we'll see if he can continue to use those to try to propel the game. It's still dead even. Shrimp actually is going to start off the Infernal Drake.
And speaking of instincts, this is exactly that. Phoenix had just pulled over to blue buff. Since Dardoch had stolen red, Shrimp expected him to be basing right then, which gave them a numbers advantage to then attempt the dragon. But they weren't necessarily willing to fully commit because they back away after Matt puts down a single ward.
Yeah, Apollo with the tier cull, not going to be doing too much damage if a fight were to break out.
True.
Whereas on the other hand, Fabi already working on his Caulfields.
Yeah.
So be able to get a little bit of damage if they were to collapse. But they decide to play it safe and wait it out instead. Not going to try to use those double teleports to make any sort of wacky fight happen.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah.
The attempt was nice, but as you mentioned, the fact that Apollo hadn't shopped since getting his tier and call doesn't inspire confidence for a fourth team fight in Infernal Drake.
Oh, there go 2 quick bombs tossed out. Dardoch once again on the invade. He's going to find some good damage. Forced to use the Ragnarok. It's okay, guys. His dad owns a dealership.
What's worrying here, actually, for Team Liquid is the fact that not only has Dardoch burned his ultimate, but they're losing that isolated top lane matchup. The Swain is bullying back Lorlo fairly substantially. He's had a 2-level lead, but they're going for a fight over here. Maybe we see teleports for a big fight.
Yeah, arrows on Apollo. He hops over. Still has his flash, though. Takes a lot of damage. There's the flash. Looks like Dardoch trying to catch up with Phoenix. Undertow is going to hit him just at the edge, and they're going to be able to chase him down. First blood, Team Liquid.
Wow, they just go for it with the Ash Arrow. Fabi's able to land it, and the 2-level advantage that Ray has over Lorlo has no impact on that because no one decides to teleport down. Without the ultimate, Dardoch still able to ghost in, land the Undertow, and secure that first kill, but Team Liquid pulling the trigger on an aggressive move where, honestly, it was a little bit dangerous because Lorlo was level 5 at the start of that, and Ray was level 7 if they would have had a full 5v5 team fight, but they pulled it off.
Shrimp. Oh, no! Oh, wow, Dardoch. Yeah.
You have such a small vision radius when you are tunneled on Rek'Sai, and unless someone is moving, you don't get to see him. So Dardoch, with the Rek'Sai knowledge there, able to get a recall off. No ghost if he would have been caught out to escape.
Yeah, and that play, again, very indicative of the two teams' play styles. Apex prioritizing Ray, letting him get a CS advantage, whereas Team Liquid following Dardoch to quite successfully pick up that first blood.
Yeah, and Fabi's Ashe, once again, is the guy who kind of started it all. So that Ashe pick looking pretty solid. Everyone in the bottom side got to assist on that kill. And I think the Dragon will continue to be a point of contention. The Scuttle Crab has been controlled by Apex, and they're really just fighting over wards in the river right now.
Yeah, that vision's so important. If Team Liquid can get it, they can land a critical arrow from Fabi. We already saw it converted into one. Whereas Apex need the vision to know where the arrows are coming from to effectively dodge out of the way. But once again, Vision of the River currently in control of Apex. Team Liquid trying to fight it as best they can. Again, still double teleport in that top lane. That's continuing to farm out.
Yeah, Lorlo's actually getting it to shove back a little bit, which is nice. He has the freedom now of having teleport and ulti. Really just trying to get it into the turret, but he's going to lose that wave, actually. This is interesting. If Ray decided to freeze, he would be able to maintain his CS advantage and still have the option to teleport down. Since Apex has control over the bottom side, it would actually be really hard for Team Liquid to force Ray out of that freeze. Wouldn't be too surprised if they end up doing that, but as we continue, it's actually Team Liquid pushing up in the bottom lane and Ray teleporting in, so Who cares about the freeze? This is double TP.
It's a double teleport. Matt and Fabi are the targets. There's a Stand United, but they're knocked up as Shrimp goes in. Matt is dropped immediately. The arrow finds Xpecial, and Fabi, isolated from his team, will fall to the 5-man gank squad of Apex.
Yeah, Matt and Fabi put themselves in such a dangerous position right there. Apex was continually controlling the vision coverage around the Dragon, and they push up without a turret behind him, making the double TP collapse, quite honestly, easy.
Yeah,
right now, though, Team Liquid is trying to counter push with the mid lane as Apex takes the Dragon after the double kill.
This Infernal Drake going to go down so very quickly. Dardoch is going to be slowed just a little bit. He drops the Ghost and runs in. The Infernal Drake is low.
Oh,
Don't you do it, Dardoch. It's stolen by Phoenix. They're trying to turn it into a fight, but Phoenix goes down. They're still able to get one in return by dropping Shrimp as Lorlo forced to flash the wall, and they can't quite chase him. And Lorlo walks off.
Oh, my goodness. So a good play turns into a not so good play for Apex as they try and extend their bottom lane kills into an immediate Dragon, but if I'm paying attention, they weren't focusing damage onto it. The Zillion and the Swain weren't necessarily there, and allows Dardoch and the rest of Team Liquid to just kind of run in and get some damage down. And then Team Liquid can just retreat to the other side of their map, and they don't suffer the casualties on the backside. So Team Liquid get out of that when they keep the gold close, and now they have an Infernal Drake.
Yeah, definitely able to make that situation balance out. And meanwhile, though, Ray will continue to catch this huge wave in the top lane. It's going to be pretty difficult to break that freeze.
Yeah, that is actually massive. Lorlo, no real way of getting up there. That will kind of be Apex's win condition here, is just getting Ray and Keen really big in these extended fights where Apollo can poke with a blue build Ezreal. This is Team Liquid rotating up to try and break the freeze because they don't want that to extend any longer, but that's already a pretty significant amount of farm Ray's been able to pick up.
Doing everything they can to try to break that down, while Apollo and Xpecial are going to catch this wave on the bottom and, again, just bully Ray away from these minions. Or Lorlo.
This is really interesting. They're going to try and dive Ray.
Yeah, he's so low, healing up as best he can, but Dardoch with the Axe Liquid executed dive.
Yeah, and that's the same play that Apex was trying to set up on the bottom side, so that could have been a communication breakdown because Ray should know to back away there. That's a very greedy play, thinking he is farther ahead than he is on Swain. He had just completed Rod of Ages while Swain is strong. It's still a 3-man dive, and with the Olaf there, it can be a very potent one. So that's successful, and notice how Lorlo, with the communication of his team, knowing that the dive was very threatening, gives up the turret, but saves his life.
Apex, though, are able to make the clear decision, all right, we lost one, we'll trade it for the tier 2. And they answer back 3 turrets to 2 right now. Haven't broken down any tier 1s in the mid lane just yet, but here's that dive once again.
Yeah, Fabi, Ash Arrow, crushes him, Dardoch runs through. What's really interesting about this, actually, now that we're looking at the overall impact on the game, is Team Liquid didn't finish off the turret there. So in essence, it was a kill for a turret. It makes you think that Ray's death could have actually been worth it, because the overall gold trade does, in the short term, favor Apex, even if they... And they get to maintain a semblance of map control. So, you know, maybe Ray is a mastermind and dying was the right thing to do there. Interesting to think about whether or not that death was actually worth it and could be considered strategically good.
Yeah, bit of a curious decision.
Yeah.
I'll trade my life for a turret.
I think it was good in this case because they didn't get the turret. And it's not like it cost him a huge amount of farm either because he'd already cleared the wave before they crashed in.
Team Liquid, though, trying to race top to catch out Fabi and Matt. They get slowed down by Dardoch. And they're unable to convert the kill in punishment. That's actually going to be pretty big for Team Liquid, as now Lorlo gets a big wave on the bottom, and Apex are forcing this. They're going to try to get something.
Yeah, they're really going in aggressively. I think they're trying to get ward control over the Rift Shield. Another Ash Arrow hits!
Yeah, there's a Stand United on Dardoch. He chases down so fast! The knockup is dropped. Shrimp is going to get the Chrono Shift. Xpecial is so low. Actually, it's Xpecial. He hops over the wall, and the Axe fade away from Dardoch as he gets it. Ray is locked down. He does have his flash, though. This is going to be pretty critical if he can land it, but he's dropped. Couple of kills for Team Liquid, 3 for 0.
Woo, those Ash Arrows are so good so far from Fabi. I think he's got 100% hit rate on them thus far in this game, and the Zillion ultimate was not that clutch in this fight. It looked like he would have wanted to get it on Shrimp. He died or he clicked Xpecial, and then Team Liquid had the patience to wait exactly for it to wear off and throw it in. The critical thing with Zillion ultimate is to put it on a target that provides threat. So when you put it on the support, it's not like he can do much work while the Zillion ult is on him. Anyway, Shrimp gets hit by it. The CC is chained with the Karma. He tries to tunnel away. And yeah, there's X-Special and Shrimp are right on top of each other. So I feel like Keen just misclicked a little bit. And then it times out. Dardoch bullseyes with the axe, and Ray is in the wrong place at the wrong time. Does have flash, but his retreat is cut off from pretty much all angles, and the CC continues to train through. So Team Liquid pick up some really crucial kills.
Yeah, that's an 800 gold lead when it's all said and done. More importantly now, they've got vision control over that bottom side of the map, and they secured Rift Herald for themselves. So prioritizing those neutral objectives after taking kills rather than just vision, starting to pay off. Lorlo, you can see with that glimpse of the Void buff.
Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily going to let him dual Ray, but it's going to make it better for him when trying to deal with it. He has a lot of health. Spear Visage is great, and the damage reduction, I think, is the most important part of that buff for now.
Yeah, now Split pushing on the other side of the map has his teleport, while the rest of the team skirmishes around mid with Ocean Drake spawning in 20 seconds. Apex look like they want to fight for it.
Yeah, they know the Shen ult is down for at least the next little while. It's going to be coming back up pretty soon. Lorlo has teleport. Ray has teleport. If Apex could get a fight that they actually decided to start, I think they'd have a better chance, but Team Liquid keep being the more decisive team here. And the one time they were able to pull off a big play was a double teleport on the bottom lane where they got a double kill. So it's really on Fabi and Match to not put themselves in that position. Okay. Apex needs the flank. Team Liquid can brute force it with Ghost and Shen and Ash Arrow.
You can see them on the minimap right now just trying to stay together, stay near a teammate so that if that TP comes out, they could be safe. While Dardoch continues to try to sneak vision into Apex's side of the map and deny them just a bit. Ray now is going to trade it out a bit with Lorlo.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Rift Herald buff right now. He got the burst of damage when he first started dueling him, and he has damage reduction, so actually trades very favorably, or at least close to favorable with Ray right now. Forcing the recall, though. Look for a teleport from Ray. But this time it's actually Team Liquid with the vision control.
Ooh, that's a very early smite, but Dardoch is just going to end up giving that over to Keen, who lands it with the double bomb.
Yeah. Pretty nice blue handoff there by Apex. When the blue is getting contested, it's rare that you can still get it to the mid laner, so I would say an unsuccessful harass attempt there by Dardoch. And yeah, Apex is really looking to make something happen here.
Yeah, they're actually going to start the Ocean Drake after clearing vision outside of the pit. Here comes the rest of Team Liquid.
This is so key. Shen ult is up, so look for the Ash Arrow, look for Dardoch.
Dardoch forced to use the Ragnarok very early. Arrow finds Keen, but it's blocked by X-Special. The follow-up damage isn't there. Lorlo lands a huge snare. Can he get in? Shrimp trying to block them from the backside, and Apex are caught in the choke. They're taking a lot of damage. True Shot Barrage balances it out. There's the Chrono Shift onto Ray. He's going to be able to do quite a bit, but Team Liquid have separated Apex into several different teams. On the far side, it's a double kill. Ray answers back. Fabi's kiting as best he can, but drops to the damage over time. Double kill for Ray, but here comes Phoenix and Lorlo. It's 3-4-2 right now in favor of Team Liquid.
Yeah, and I don't know if Team Liquid's healthy enough to take on Ray right now. Ray would still have teleport. If he has a ward, he would be able to come back to base and maybe harass this. They don't have wards in the right location, though, so Team Liquid will be able to pick up the Dragon. What a fight right there. You kind of got to see the power of the Zillion on the Swain, but then you also got to see that Team Liquid is just able to make these fights happen. Lorlo had a very big taunt in the midst of that. Watching it one more time, Dardoch didn't have the best start, but they get to Shen ult in on him, and he has to be pretty careful because Dardoch might get bursted down, so therefore Lorlo takes a bunch of people with taunt, and Fabi gets in strong. That's what lined up right there for Phoenix to burst really hard, though. And then notice how he then flashes through, and another nice taunt by Lorlo there towards the backside of the fight to get Phoenix to kill. Meanwhile, this is what we actually got to see on the stream. Fabi got ticked down by Ray's E. Dardoch also able to secure the kill while zoning enough with his axes to stop Ray from executing him. Really nice fight there, and I'd say advantage Team Liquid.
Yeah, very decisive fight. Phoenix, enabled by Dardoch, has been doing quite a bit. 4-1-2 right now, 20 CS lead over Keen, but Apex have grouped up in the mid lane. They're going to use a lot of zone control to try to keep Team Liquid off the turret.
Those double bombs were great. It's incredibly hard to stop Victor.
The
but
arrow hits
Apollo.
Apollo, and he gets destroyed. Fabi from the other lane catches up. Meanwhile, Dardoch is going to chase forward. He's not slowed by anything, but Apex make it back to their tier 1.
Yeah, and I do have to credit Fabi for so many Ash arrows, but at some point the blame falls on Apex.
They're diving onto Ray right now. Again, the Chrono Shift saves him, but the turret goes down, dropping some bombs on top of the gravity field. Can they burn him down? They can. Fabi gets the kill, and Team Liquid continue to press forward.
Yeah, they're starting to crush right now, pick after pick into minor objectives, and they're starting to grow their small lead into a big one. And thinking about that Ash arrow once again, I still can't think of an Ash arrow that Fabi's missed, and he's landed now 5 of them in a row. But you also have to keep in mind, Apex has nobody with cleanse, no QSSs, and no Mikhails, so Apollo shifted away from that one in a straight line. You have to shift at least a little bit sideways. He gets nailed by it. That allows Team Liquid to continue to chase on a little bit since they've already killed the 80 carry. The rest of Apex has to be careful. They try and bomb the minis to stop, but that also means they have no bombs to stop the dive from happening. Warlow taunts onto Ray. The Zillion ult pops him up, but because the rest of Apex is so low and because the 80 carry is already dead, the revive doesn't have that much value, and Ray cannot sustain back up as the dive was able to continue, and Team Liquid cleaned up.
Yeah, a remarkably bloody game over the course of these fights. 16 kills in 25 minutes. And Team Liquid, as you said, converting those kills into minor objectives. Rift Herald, Dragons, they can keep this up. They can try to propel those minor objectives into some bigger objectives later on. But pressure is on to Apex right now to try to answer back with some objectives of their own.
Yeah, and you know, X-Special, a lot of times on Braum, you really want to move towards a locket very early on. But with the way they're getting destroyed with these Ash arrows, you almost want to wonder if you have to rush Mikhails on Braum. Because Fabi has been so on point, and that is really the linchpin for a lot of these Team Liquid initiations.
Yeah, and you can see how Team Liquid are playing with Fabi and Matt. Those two are almost never separated. After that first pick, Team Liquid were like, we're not going to fall for this again. We're not going to let ourselves get caught out.
Yeah, if we look at the ward coverage, there's not as many deep wards from Apex. Ray,
Oh,
Ash arrow hits
another
Shrimp.
arrow hits, but not quite the high priority target they're looking for. They're chasing down Ray. He's got Flash. Team Liquid might have overextended. Shrimp goes in. Flash knockup finds Fabi. He's snared and drop low. Destroyed by Apollo's True Shot Barrage. They're getting a lot of damage, but Exhaust denies Phoenix's majority with that Chaos Storm. And Team Liquid are able to back away, and they do steal the blue buff.
Woo! Really like the way that Shrimp turned that fight around. Fabi maintains his 100% accuracy, but that one was a little bit questionable because it wasn't immediately follow-upable for Team Liquid, so to speak. And yeah, Apex, when they get Swain in the midst of one of those team fights, he's still been farming up the Storm. He's level 14. He's a real big bird in these fights, and if they don't have a good pick at the start, clearly Apex is still competitive enough in this game.
Yes, still no. Oh, Phoenix does have the Morello, so now they have some grievous wounds, but that's still only at, I believe, 35% of health or below.
Right, it's not nearly as reliable as the execution is calling, and you are correct. It is when you're below 35% health, it will inflict the grievous wounds. So, I mean, that's a very small window for Apex because Ray oftentimes will be getting bursted down, and if Keen gets the ultimate on him, he's going to res again with 80 or 90% health. So, like, you're not going to be grievous wounding unless the grievous wounds counts for the revive. I'm actually not 100% sure on that mechanic because it could persist on him through the Zillion ultimate and then therefore revive him with less health, in which case that would be incredibly potent. Someone will tell me if that happens or not.
Interestingly enough, when Ray dies in Raven form, if he has mana, even though he's dead, the Ravens continue attacking.
Yeah.
And it continues to burn through his mana.
Which would make me think that the grievous wounds would persist, but we need confirmation.
Yeah, this
they
time
Shrimp?
they look for another Shrimp, continuing that 100% arrow hits. They're actually able to get a lot of CC onto him and chunk him down to a third. There's Phoenix flashing in with the Chaos Storm. They are so hungry for the kill. Now they turn it around onto X-Special. Look at all of those stacks, but no one can proc a stun. Team Liquid find yet another pick on the Apex.
Yeah, and the Zillion ult had to be used onto Shrimp right there, which is, it makes these Team Liquid fights rather difficult because a lot of the times the Ash arrows are about picking off that one target, but the one target they're picking off is then getting Zillion ulted, so it's really just the catalyst for an initiation on them where they're kind of baiting Apex to fight, burning the Zillion ultimate on a target that you wouldn't necessarily want them to burn it on, and then they can create the real fight, which I think is why Team Liquid is landing all these great initiations, but still only kind of creeping ahead slowly but surely.
taking their time, don't want to take any chances. But that's Infernal Drake picked up with Especial Dead. No chance that Apex could contest. That's 3 Drakes for Team Liquid. 1 Ocean, 2 Infernal.
Yeah, it's going to be really huge. That extra damage, especially on someone like Victor, who is already one of the highest damage mids in the game. Pretty ideal Drakes for them so far. Just need a Mountain Drake to come in next, and they'd have the whole picture. And let's see what it is. It is a Mountain Drake! Oh my goodness, Team Liquid. They'll have the damage, and then if they need to be able to burst down a Baron or take turrets, they can get the Mountain if they get that next one. Game's still pretty close, though. Apex going to have to stop that.
Yeah, it's only a 2,000 gold difference between the two teams, but Apex have had a very difficult time getting themselves back into this. After that first proactive double teleport play, picking out Fabi and Matt, they've been reacting to every move that Liquid have been making.
Yeah, and I think the double Inferno will also kind of make that 2.7 thousand gold lead feel a lot more oppressive because there's 16% multipliers on their attack damage and their ability power, which will be really big for Phoenix, especially if he gets a death cap at some point. He's already sitting on 588 AP.
That is
not too bad.
That's going to be a lot of damage on that Victor. Dardoch very greedily invading, and the rest of the team immediately backs him up. He might have overextended, though, as the Ragnarok wears off. He eats a big knock-up stun, locks him down. Can they drop him? There's a never move. He's finally going to be dropped by Apex. Raid boss down, but Team Liquid turn it around. A huge Chaos Storm forces Apex to back off.
Yeah, and Keen landed such a critical stun right after Phoenix had arrived to that fight, because it looked like Victor was going to be able to turn that one back around. But that fight in general is just kind of another example of how it's pretty tricky to work around Zillion right here. Dardoch has gone for this tanky build. He has crazy base damages in the early game, but as everyone else gets their base health up as well, him running in there with Shen isn't enough threat. Raise this 3,000 health Swain, and yes, they land an Ash Arrow, and yes, Dardoch's in there with the Shen. The race health isn't going down very fast. And that's incredibly troubling because Apex can arrive, beautiful double bomb over the wall from Keen to lock Dardoch up, never move chains, they get the kill, it goes to Zillion, and then right there, Phoenix was looking to combo that up with a Death Ray and a Q auto attack, which probably would have popped someone, but he get double bombed again by Keen, who's actually, you know, despite having to use all of his ultimates very reactively and not always getting them on the right target, has had very good bomb placement in this game.
Yeah, he definitely has. Still a very stellar player for Apex. Just having the unfortunate difficulty of trying to decide who will live and who will die in these team fights. Who do I ult? Who do I save? The healer's conundrum.
Yeah, and it's going to be a decision he has to continually make right, because I really do think that this Swain-Zillion combo is pretty insane. Fabi will definitely have to get an Executioner's Calling with his next item. I'm actually a little disappointed he built his Last Whisper first, since really there's one dude with armor that's helping him with. He should have built the healing reduction first, but he'll finish that pretty soon, I'd imagine.
Yeah, eventually
the correct item.
That up.
He has enough gold to get it right now. It's just a matter of getting the space to recall. But yeah, Team Liquid hasn't been able to break this game open despite landing so many initiations and getting so many favorable fights. At this point, it's just kind of like one favorable fight for Apex, and all that work that Team Liquid has done goes to waste because it feels like Apex is just scaling so hard right now.
Yeah. That's a lot of ability power on Keen Ray now. 3 items in. Team Liquid, though, are going to get a powerful rotation, sending a couple members towards that bottom tier 2. Apex looks to converge. Here goes Keen, Shrimp, and Xpecial. But with Phoenix to head them off, Team Liquid are going to be able to back away.
Yeah, the vision control is something that Team Liquid's going to use around the Drake here. And at 32 minutes, the death timers are much longer. So if Team Liquid can win a decisive fight, it's really what's going to break the game wide open for them, because it would secure them their 4th Drake. It would also give them Mountain, which lets them take Baron faster. So basically, after they can get the Drake, they'll more easily be able to go down for an inhibitor or just continue to chain the objectives around. And it's because they have the vision control right now that they're going to look to set up that play.
Apex not doing a great job of clearing this vision out. In fact, it's Matt, as you can see, clearing the vision of Apex as they continue to try to split push 1-1-3 in these lanes. However, Apex not going to be giving up that Mountain Drake without a fight. They are starting to get pretty big.
Yeah.
They just need to dodge the arrows, which so far has not worked for them.
And Fabi builds a BF sword instead of the healing reduction item, which is something I do not agree with. Might be going towards an Infinity Edge for more overall damage, but it really feels like the win condition for Apex is just, 5,000 health Swain, because he's going to have 3,000 health and he gets 2,000 health from the revive from Keen. So being able to heal reduce some of those extra things is just so important, and Fabi could have done it right there.
Yeah.
But now it's really going to be critical that they eliminate Keen.
I feel like this is a recurring theme for Apex. We'll get Swain super huge in this set. In their game against Cloud9, it was like, we'll get Cassiopeia super huge in this set.
Potentially, right? And Apex have had a lot of these long games. Maybe practice will help that a little bit. I still don't like the fact that there's no way of stopping the Ash Arrow outside of just Zillion ulting the dude they go for. But I guess they feel confident enough in Keen's ability to not get hit by the Ash Arrow. And they're also maybe trying to trade a Baron for this Drake because they're not contesting it at all.
Yeah, this Mountain Drake gets slain very quickly. Immediately, Apex
does not have very fast Baron damage. Ezreal isn't great at it. Keen and Ray also don't have crazy DPS, so this is more about baiting a fight. But Team Liquid, they're not going for it. They might be giving it away. Team Liquid need to go Hawkshot, Blue Trinket, really anything now.
They're finally heading in. The arrow is fired. It's going to find Shrimp. This is Apex trying to turn it into a fight. Lorlo is in. There's a huge Chaos Storm. Ray is going to be locked down. There's the Grievous Wounds on top of him, and they might be able to drop him in time. There's the Never Move. No save from Keen. That's 2 members of Apex dead.
Really dislike the call there from Apex. I think they had a strong team fighting chance at Drake, and they couldn't burst the Baron, but Team Liquid collapses down properly. Now they're going for the Baron 5 versus 3, and there's not much left for Apex to harass.
Yeah, they're trying to turn it around. Special so very low. This is going to be close. Keen drops the double bomb, but Smite secured by Dardoch.
Yeah, just going through the order of operations right there, and it was quite flawed for Apex throughout there. They give up the 4th Drake, and then also as Team Liquid runs in, Keen was behind them, and he doesn't actually stop them from running in, and he misses his double bombs in the back. So that allows Team Liquid to run straight into the Baron pit to the already weakened Apex, completely obliterate Shrimp because Zillion's not even in range to protect its focused target, and Team Liquid can just kind of walk right over them. So I like Team Liquid for their decisiveness there. As soon as they saw the Baron, they went for it, but I do not think Apex set that up properly.
Now with that Baron buff, Team Liquid will finally look to break down those remaining Tier 2 turrets and inhibitors. Get themselves closer and closer towards that important win against the team they are currently tied up against. 36 minutes in, Team Liquid have got the clear advantage right now, more so than previously. And they are just going to shred through this turret so quickly.
Yep, Mortal Reminder finally completed. Baron up, Mountain Drake acquired, 2 Infernal Drakes. They're really at their most powerful point. Phoenix currently sitting on 742 ability power.
Oh my gosh.
He'll be over 1,000 if he can complete that death cap.
That is one very big cyborg.
Yeah.
But Team Liquid now thoroughly in the driver's seat. Apex made the decision, but it was just a little bit too late. Oh, did he just secure that? Oh, wow.
Oh,
Orlo.
man. That hurts. You get bonus ability power from that blue buff now. Keen would have loved that.
Yeah, Shrimp even had Smite.
Yeah, well, Shrimp wasn't going to want to smite it because it's really on Keen or bust. So
yeah,
getting it stole away is non-ideal. But now we got split pushing Shen. No one to necessarily match him. So I don't think Team Liquid should dive here. They should actually just continue to push this because one side will break.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Lorlo on the other side is pushing against that bottom inhibitor. He's already got it chunked down to half while the rest of Team Liquid keep Apex occupied.
Yeah, this is expertly done by Team Liquid right now because Apex doesn't actually have very hard initiation, and since Lorlo's up above 3,000 health with Warmogs, Ray's never going to be able to stop him. And if Apex actually wants to 5v5 team fight, they need Ray and Keen together. So there's not much Apex can do outside of Desperation Engage.
Yeah, flash knock up. Fabi dodges the Never Move. Here comes Ray with the flank. Can he get in? Phoenix is dropped before he gets a chance. Fabi finally goes down for 1. He's going to try to burn through Ray. There's an Ignite. Can he do enough damage? The Zonias. Fabi goes down. Ray is trying to turn this around with Keen. He lands the stun, and Apex trade 2 for 2.
And Desperation Engage successful.
Yeah.
They kill Phoenix, they kill Fabi, they get the damage out of there, and it's just a bunch of tanks and supports left for Team Liquid at the end of it, whereas it's still double solo lane for Apex. Shrimp goes in, gets the knock up onto both carries. burns the flash quick, but then the never move chains onto Phoenix, and they can just crush him because X Special landed the stun as well. And I do have to say it was not perfect ultimate from Keen because he was forced to use it from all the Victor damage that came down, but then because they'd actually killed the damage dealers, Ray was then able to heal up against Lorlo and Dardoch. So a very small margins on that fight for Apex, but they're able to come away with it. They haven't lost their inhibitors, and they get to stay in the game.
Yeah, it seems like we're seeing Apex play with these small margins over and over again. In their game against Cloud9, it was knife's edge the entire match for that 60-minute game, and it seems like that's where Apex really try to sit themselves and live, which has its ups because at a 50-minute team fight, if you win the game. But if you lose the game.
Yeah, and you can see before dying, Fabi and Phoenix were dishing out the damage. Keep in mind, there's a lot of health to cut through on Apex. Swain has 3,600 health. When Keen ults someone, they will heal for 2,301 upon revive. So in games like this, where you have a Swain who is healing a bunch and a Zillion who is reviving for a bunch, those damage dealt to champion numbers in team fights are going to be larger because there is more damage to deal in the fights in order to win it. You can only do as much damage as the enemy has health.
Yeah, well.
So there's more health on Apex right now. Bigger damage.
Not when there's a Zillion and an Echo on the enemy team, and they can just heal it right back up.
Yeah. Those Soraka Swain games.
Oh, yeah.
Those will get you. You got some big damage numbers there.
Yeah, well, now Elder Drake is up. Elder Dragon is up in 30 seconds. Team Liquid have got 4 Drakes, 2 of them Infernal, 1 of them Mountain. They've got vision control over that side, and with double teleport available, this could be the fight that decides the rest of the game.
Yeah. Shrimp has no flash this time to assist in a surprise initiation. Phoenix has both of his summoners up as well as Deathcap. Popping his AP up to 1,012 with that blue buff, giving him another percentage increase.
Yeah.
Here we
they're
go.
Gonna try to catch Phoenix. He's forced to flash very quickly. Dardoch decides to turn it into a fight. He runs in. There's a huge stun. Phoenix kiting it around as best he can, but Dardoch will not be stopped. Single-handedly separating Apex. Shrimp goes down. Ray doesn't have the chrono shift long enough. It's 5 versus 3, and Team Liquid could push this to end.
Yeah, they pinged the Elder Drake, though, because they're going to play this conservatively right now, and then they're going to have 2 minutes of this buff to go in with it. The Gravity Field actually was the MVP of that fight. I think it caught multiple people before Phoenix was able to just dish out the 1,000 AP Victor Burst. So Team Liquid kill this. They're going to recall, which is going to give them about 1 minute and 20 seconds to make this empowered push.
Mm-hmm. Here's Phoenix once again. That Gravity Field.
Yeah. It might be the next one, or... No, it wasn't. It was the... What knocked them real quick at the very end of that fight? Because Lorlo hadn't come in. It looked like there was a CC that caught 3 Apex guys. I'll have to watch it again. Either way, Phoenix gets out a ton of burst on there. And some miscommunication by Apex as Ray had zoned while Chrono Shift was on him. Not allowing the revive to kick in for Keen in that fight. Now they have about another 1 minute and 20 seconds of this supercharged Elder Dragon buff to try and win the game with.
The do or die for Team Liquid.
Or do and wait a little bit.
Yep.
They do have a massive lead.
That's also
8,000.
an appropriate term. It just doesn't have the ring to it when you stick it on the buff.
It's true.
The
do it
do
now,
or wait a little bit.
Or later. Really, you have the options.
The take your time buff.
Yeah. Because, I mean, they're kind of taking their time. I don't necessarily agree with this.
Well, they've got Baron spawning in 5 seconds as
Yeah.
well, so they might just try to bait another fight.
Thing is, they had 2 people dead, and they might have been able to win then. Why? At least this buff lets you take Baron really fast.
Oh, yeah.
That is the thing.
Even the teleport from Lorlo
All right, maybe we see a fight here. I don't know why Apex would try to fight
Shrimp
this, but
goes
they're
over the
going for it.
wall, but it is secured again by Dardoch. Lorlo in the back line. Can he find a good taunt? No, he decides to separate Shrimp instead. And Team Liquid double buffed up.
Yeah. Do not fight a team with 4 stacks of Elder Drake. But Apex tried to anyway. They haven't died yet, but now they're in full retreat. Elder Drake up for about another 10 seconds. It'll be the Baron Apex has to deal with, but now Shrimp doesn't have flash for an engage. So things getting grimmer and grimmer for Apex as Team Liquid try and win.
Yeah, Shrimp actually went the long way around and was forced to TP in. The arrow again is going to hit another member of Apex. Shrimp is just zoned away as Team Liquid charge forward. Dardoch is going to turn on to Ray. Matt follows him up, but Ray gets the clutch zone. Yes, Dardoch so low. Lorlo deep in the back lines. Ray is going to get revived. Matt is forced to get out. Team Liquid are riding this fight as hard as they can, but they can't quite finish it off just yet.
Yeah, Apollo was actually pretty close to turning that fight completely around. And yeah, Team Liquid did get an inhibitor, but they're going to have to continue to wait this one out. Not able to win the game. Apex really hard to completely take down this game.
Yeah. Finally able to land the chrono shift onto Ray. Meant that he was able to do enormous damage, and hey, Apex were finally able to take down that tier 2 turret with minions on the far side. But here's the fight.
Yeah, watching this, you can see Matt and Dardoch going for Ray, but this is where Apex finally get the combo, right? He Zonias to maximize his healing, he gets Zillion ulti to stay up, and all the while, that Ravenous Flock is ticking. He actually runs out of mana before all is said and done, and Apollo was low on mana as well because Dardoch and Matt were super low. I do, just a random aside, really want to see Phoenix get blue buff to see what his AP is at. Because currently, he sold his boots for Ludens. He has Baron, which is a bonus. He has Double Infernal, which is a bonus. He has a blue elixir. He's at 1,208.
Oh my god.
When he gets the other multiplier from blue buff, he could get over 1,300 or 1,400 AP, which is the highest I would have seen on Victor.
Yeah, he's going to sneeze at Apollo, and Apollo's going to die.
Yeah, that's the thing. If he flashes in for a combo, he will one-hit him, because Apollo has no magic resist items.
Oh, man. We'll see if he can get in there as the inhibitor gets cleaned up easy peasy for Team Liquid. And Lorlo splitting on the far side. No one is answering right now. Team Liquid just have to keep Apex occupied. Yeah, Lorlo is going to be zoned away by Keen, though.
Yeah, they're going for inhibitor number 3. That's where Lorlo was, and really, as soon as they get all 5 people over there, it'll be another one of those times where Apex has to desperation engage. Bullseye.
Again, the arrow. This time it hits Ray. Though Matt gets pulled in, though he's not going to be able to do quite a bit. Ray is going to eat the chrono shift. They have to stop DPS. They're going to try to turn it around. Ray forced to flash away. He's actually back in the base. Phoenix is going so deep. He's got some help from Lorlo. He's finally going to go down, but the triple inhibs are gone. It's 4 versus 4.
There's so many minions right now, and Apollo being dead, like, there's no way Apex actually clears these.
They're trying to as best they can, but the Nexus is the target. Team Liquid burn it down and take game number 1 against Apex.
Yeah, 45 minutes in, so it was a bit of a long one, and Phoenix, while getting a little bit aggressive at the end, did have 1,200 AP, so I'll let him off with the pass on that one.
You can even see he's looking at the damage right now, like 1,200 AP. Look at that. That's so much damage.
I was strong. I make play here.
Huge performance out of Phoenix on that.
Oh my god. Speaking of the damage, 67,000 there from Phoenix, which is more than double everyone else on his team.
Oh my gosh.
He did it that game. He did the damage. Fabi landed the arrows. Dardoch made the initiations. It was a bit of a slugfest, really, to get through the Zillion ultimate and Swain again and again. But ultimately, it was Team Liquid making the right calls time and time again, and Apex not being able to respond.
Yeah, Apex just didn't really look comfortable making those decisive calls. They made one with the double teleport in the bottom lane, and then their second was at Baron 25 minutes later.
Exactly, and the Baron call was not good for Apex. They actually, when trading objectives, I think made a fair number of mistakes, but the game itself was relatively competitive considering how many plays Team Liquid were making. So I think that's actually some good things they can adjust on, because I think those are fairly low-hanging fruit as far as like, yo, when you're making these adjustments, you played decently well. Like, we kind of know what Team Liquid threw at us. So by no means do I think that this series is over, because that was still a pretty close game.
Yeah, it certainly was. But now for a closer look at that Liquid